All right, ladies and gentlemen. December 26th, 1973. I'm the Michael Myers fanatic, and the date that I just gave you is the release date of The Exorcist, and it stars Linda Blair as Regan McNeil. This is one of the most, if not the most iconic horror film of all time. It's about a 12-year-old girl that is believed to be possessed by the devil. Wow, I can see why people are scared of this movie. I'm not going to say I was scared of it, but it had me feeling uneasy, that's for darn sure. I definitely wouldn't watch it at night. The movie starts off with a priest in Iraq, and he is played by Max von Sydow, I believe his name is Father Lancaster Marin. And then we have Father Damien Karras, played by Jason Miller. Ellen Burstyn plays Chris McNeil. The McNeil family are basically atheist family. You know, they don't believe in God. At first, they think it's just psychological problems. Like I said, the priest starts off in Iraq and he's digging for stuff, and basically, to make a long story short, he sees a statue of a demon named Pazuzu. And the next thing you know, they show America and they show the McNeil house. And like I said, you meet the McNeil family. You have Regan McNeil, played by Linda Blair. You got her mother, Chris McNeil, and she's played by Ellen Burstyn. Regan tells her mom that somebody named Captain Howdy has been speaking to her, and I'm gonna go ahead and assume that Captain Howdy is really the demon. And she starts playing with this Ouija board, and I'm gonna also assume that that's how the demon got into her life and into her body, because she invited the demon in that way. One of the first signs of the possession is that the girl begins to urinate on herself. And I'm just sitting there watching the urine come down her legs, and I'm like, I didn't think that that was a sign of possession. I just thought she had a weak bladder, but whatever. She's peeing on herself, and then they clean it up and they say, oh, she's just sick. She has nerve problems, so they give her pills. And the mom just basically shrugs it off as a freak thing. Next thing you know, her bed starts shaking. She's like, Mom, the bed was shaking. Once again, her mom shrugs it off. No big deal. But the next time it shakes, her mom actually sees it. So then that's when her mom believes that something might be wrong. I'm guessing that when the demon first showed itself to Regan, she was probably impressed by it. Like, maybe he probably said, you want to see something cool? And she probably said, yeah, I mean, this is a 12-year-old girl. You know, they're atheists. They don't believe in stuff like that, because atheists don't believe in God or the devil or a soul. They don't believe in any of those things, or heaven or hell or anything. They just believe in the basic goodness of people. But anyway, the problem escalates and it just gets worse and worse. So she takes Regan to 50 psychiatrists. I think she said 50. Did she really say 50 psychiatrists? That's a lot of psychiatrists. They say that this is based on the exorcism of Roland Doe. And this took place in the 1940s or something like that. But I think she said 50 psychiatrists. That's a lot of money. Because I forgot to mention that Reagan's mom is a movie star. So you know she was paying out the ass. Like, not to be vulgar, but she was paying out the ass. Trust me. 50 psychiatrists, you gonna pay some guap. I'ma tell you straight. She was paying that guap. But anyway, the psychiatrists, they perform all kinds of tests on her, and then they see that it's really nothing they can do for her, so they send her to a priest, which is Father Damien Karras, and then Damien sends her back to the psychiatrist and says, well, maybe she should see a psychiatrist. What's really weird about this whole thing is Damien is a priest and a psychiatrist. So it's like, if you're both, why couldn't you just see her? By the way, Damien's mother died, and he feels guilty about that, and the demon basically uses that against him. So he has to get an approval to do the exorcism. And when he first meets Reagan, the demon manifests itself. But before Father Karras meets the demon, a psychiatrist meets the demon. The demon is saying all kinds of vulgar things like, oh, fuck me, and your mother sucks cocks and all this. Well, the demon says that part to the priest, but you know what I mean. And, you know, by this point, I would imagine that Mrs. McNeil now believes that it actually is a demon. Because at first, everybody thought it was mental problems. This is what I don't get. Even Father Karras didn't believe that it was a demon. He thought it was mental problems. How the hell is a mental problem going to make a drawer open on its own? That scene didn't even make sense. I don't care how crazy you are, you're not going to be able to make something move on its own. Seriously? That didn't even make any sense. But he doesn't believe it either. You're a priest, but you don't believe in demonic possession. Okay, this plot point literally makes no sense at all. But again, moving on with the story, the church approves of the exorcism, and Father Karras takes Father Marin with him. So they basically go to Reagan's house and they try to exorcise her, and this takes days. And they're basically arguing with the demon, and the demon is telling Father Karras that he killed his mother. He's like, you killed your mother and all that. And after a while, Father Marin dies. Father Marin is played by Max von Sydow. He ends up dying. I'm guessing he had a heart attack. And by the way, what was that green stuff that Linda Blair was squirting out of her mouth? She squirted some green stuff out of her mouth. What was that? And then there was the one time she spun her head around, and they say that somebody died with their head twisted all the way around. So I'm guessing that had something to do with the demon, but I don't really know for sure. The priest ends up dying, like I said. Father Marin died of a stroke or a heart attack or something. And Father Karras gets mad, and he starts beating the shit out of the demon and punching Reagan, saying, you son of a bitch, take me. And the demon goes inside of him, and he jumps out the window. And this is what I don't get. How are they going to explain how the priest fell out the window and how the other priest had a stroke or a heart attack or whatever that was? How are they going to explain that? I don't quite understand that, you know what I mean? Because somebody else died in Reagan's room, and how are they going to explain 3 deaths in Reagan's room? You know, that's a little interesting there. But anyway, before Father Karras dies, he makes a confession. He asks for forgiveness for his sins, and then he dies. Next thing you know, they show Regan leaving. I guess she moved. I can't blame her. I would move after all that stuff happened. So she's better now. And the movie basically goes off. And there you have it. The Exorcist. December 26, 1973. It was directed by William Friedkin. And it's based on a novel by William Peter Blatty. It was very creepy. A lot of people want to say that this movie has a curse on it. Me, I'm not so sure. But I do believe in the power of suggestion. Of course, I believe in God, the devil, all that stuff. But you know, I'm not gonna go blaming movies for having curses, you know. That's not my thing. Would I provoke a demon? No, I would not. But I'm not gonna go around blaming movies for things like that. I just don't believe in that kind of stuff. I still wouldn't watch it at night because it's very creepy. I admit that. As a horror fan, I can actually admit that. Was I scared out of my wits? No. Was I creeped out a little bit? Yes, I was. They did a very excellent job. Excellent job. Completely. 5 stars on this movie. Ladies and gentlemen, The Exorcist starring Linda Blair. December 26, 1973. It was directed by William Friedkin and it's based on a book by William Peter Blatty, based on the exorcism of Roland Doe from 1949. Alright, I'm the Michael Myers fanatic. I approve this message, The Exorcist. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to my review. Thank you so much. Goodbye.